Okay, everyone, it's time to go through $300 of strapped bills, and we're going to be looking for cool serial numbers, any errors, and star notes. So let's get to it. All right. Now basically what I'm going to be looking for, just look through the serial number real quick, make sure the district matches, the E's, the A's, the number 5s on all 4 corners, and I just quickly check the year to make sure it's not an old bill. If it is, I put it aside, and just check for the alignment of everything and make sure the serial numbers match, and if there's any cool serial number, to be on the lookout for that. So this one definitely doesn't look like anything special about it, so we'll just continue to move on through the pile here. Just wanted to quickly explain what I was looking for as I'm going through them. And again, nothing too special about any of these so far. And what I'll end up doing here is just speeding through everything. I'll speed up the video here, and then we'll stop it once I get through the stack. And if I have anything cool in the stack, we'll go through it then, and then we'll just continue on through the rest of the stacks that way. Okay, so I got through the first stack of hundreds, and pretty cool. I found a star note in the first stack, and I guess at the end of the video, I'll do kind of a recap, and I'm going to look up to see the rarity of this star note, how much, like what the run was on it, how many were made. It's kind of got a little bit of a cool serial number to it. A pair of 09s and a pair of 4s. So anyway, we'll get back to that one and see how rare of a star note this is. I pulled out some other bills here just to kind of go through on some of the stuff that I'm looking for. Not that this is overly qualifying for stuff that I'm gonna pull out and keep, but just things I kind of take note of. You can kind of see here on this last digit, the 8, it's pushed up a little bit higher. This is referred to, sometimes you hear it called a gas pump error or an odometer error, or just a high or low stuck digit error. You know, the severity of this one isn't crazy. It's you know, slightly noticeable, but I just wanted to point it out. It's pretty common. I think I've pulled out just to show examples of these bills, maybe 12 or 13. So out of a stack of 100, you know, that's a pretty high percentage for this happening to. So it's not that it's really uncommon, but some of them are more severe than others, obviously. And let's see, on this one, you can kind of see that third digit to the last of the 2, it sits a little bit lower. What do we got on this one? The 7 the last digit, the 7. That one's sitting up a little bit higher. And what do we got on this one? Yeah, it looks like that 2 might be sitting up slightly higher. Nothing too crazy. And maybe the same thing for these. What do we got on these ones? It looks like the last 3 might be sitting a little bit, just a tiny bit lower. It kind of looks like a few of these numbers are sitting lower in the middle. A 9, 5, 5 kind of slumps down in the middle there, and then it works its way back up towards the end of the serial number. So I guess it's not too uncommon that I see that. And again, the 9 in the middle, 3rd digit to the end, might be sitting a little bit lower. Nothing too crazy. And this one here, you can see like the 9 and the 0 in the middle. That's kind of sitting lower. So a few more examples here. You can see that the last 3 is, or the only 3 is sitting lower. And you've got that, maybe the 28607. That does look like it's shifted further down than the rest of the serial numbers. And it looks like the 2 and a 9 are sitting lower. And it could also be that the 4 and the 2 are sitting slightly higher. So it makes that shift look a little bit more extreme. But anyways, those are those examples. It's nothing too crazy that I'm gonna pull out and set aside for myself. Some more examples too. I wanted to mention what I look for are these heavy ink, like the over ink. You can see here on the 1 on the lower serial number, that 3rd digit, you can see it's got a heavier inking, and that's not too uncommon. I've seen this quite a bit on the 2017 and 2013 even, especially on the upper 3rd digit and the lower 3rd digit. Pretty common. And it's not too uncommon too that I see them on the 2nd digits as well. Yeah, you see them elsewhere too, and it's definitely not uncommon to find, but I guess it just really depends upon how severe it may appear. But once you start going through and seeing a lot of the same thing, you kind of know what to look for, and this really isn't anything too extraordinary. A couple other examples. Here's that 4, that 3rd digit on the 2013. Pretty heavy inking there. This one is, maybe the inking is a little bit more extreme than what's usual. So this, if you collect this sort of thing, this could be something to maybe put aside. It's not in the best of shape, the bill, that's for sure. But it might be something I hold on to just for a little while until something better comes along and I just replace it. There again, those 7s, the lower and upper, both of them are the heavy inking, 2013. Once again, the 7s, both upper and lower, the 3rd digit, heavy inking, that's a 2017. And the 1 on the lower serial number, the 3rd digit, 2013. So, that's just out of a stack of 100. And that just shows, how many I've come across already. Let's see, I pulled out this one. Nothing too crazy. Again, but I guess what I wanted to point out is it's got maybe a few things going on with it. It does look like the lower part of the upper serial number here is dipped, you know, that gas pump error, like the 6444, that looks like it's sitting a little bit lower. And it looks like maybe this second 5 has a little bit heavier inking on it as well. But again, like I said, it's nothing too uncommon on that second and third digit that I've seen on the 2017 and 2013. And even some of the older bills too. It just seems like that's a digit that, or those couple digits really tend to get some heavier inking on them. And then I guess the other thing to point out too is, depending upon how much you want to collect the serial numbers, this one has the 3 in a row 444, and it's got a 2 in a row 5, a pair of 5s. So it's got a triple and a double, triple in the pair. So it's not like it's really super uncommon to see this combination on a serial number. Let's see, what else did I pull out here? This one, again, depending upon the collectability of what you're looking for, it has the end of the serial number and the beginning of the serial number. It has 0707. So those are referred to as bookends. So the matching bookends. I typically, on 2 digits, don't think it's anything overly special. If it were 3 digits, like if it's 079 and then if it's 079 again on the end, yeah, maybe those ones are a little bit cooler and I'd hold on to it maybe for a little bit, but they're not super duper uncommon, especially if you only have like 1 digit or 2 digits. So not really anything I'm gonna hold on to, but just again wanted to point out what some of the stuff is that I look for. This one, I pulled this one out because the alignment on the borders is, you know, noticeably off. You can see the upper and the right border definitely are much more narrow than the left and the bottom. It's shifted. The back doesn't look as severe, but you can still see it's off-centered. So, I mean, you'll see this or hear this referred to as being misaligned or off-centered or miscut. So this would be still considered within the parameters when they print and cut the bills, as long as the bill is actually still, it has the borders on it. It's still considered in their parameters. So it's not really a true error, but you know, I guess the amount of times that you'll come across the misalignment, it's going to depend, I guess, on, there's going to be all different variations of how misaligned it is. And that's really going to determine if it's really worth holding on to or being considered collectible. If the bill was, if part of the bill was shifted off of, or I should say, if the face of the money was shifted off of the bill and there was actually no border on one of the sides or on multiple sides, that would be considered an error and much more collectible. This, you know, not so much, but it still could be cool to hold on to because it definitely is misaligned. It, you know, catches your eye. So just, like I said, another thing I look out for. And let's see, last but not least, I pulled this bill out because it kind of caught my eye. I haven't seen this before, actually. Let's see if I can get it close enough to the camera, but at the very bottom of all the numbers, it's kind of got some black dots. I shouldn't say all the numbers in the serial number, but most of them. And then you'll see it again down here on this serial number. I haven't seen this sort of an inking issue, or I don't know if it's an issue, but I haven't seen this inking pattern before on any of the bills I've searched through. So This is definitely something a little bit more unique to me. I, haven't come across it before. I don't know if any of you have watching. If you have, maybe you can, leave in the comments if you've seen this before or something of that nature. But yeah, this would probably be something I'll hold on to. So anyway, that's the first stack of hundreds, and we'll continue going through the stacks, and I'll do some recaps on each of the stacks when I get through it. And at the very end, I'll go through that star note to let you know how rare it is, and if hopefully I find some more star notes, and we can go through those as well. So let's continue on. Okay, done with that second set of $100 bills, and no star notes on that one, unfortunately. But I did find some 1999 $1 bills, 3 of them actually, and it's not like it's that old of a bill, but to be honest, I don't come across a lot of them. So when I do see them, just a personal thing, I set them aside. And this stack actually yielded 3 of them. These other 2 here aren't in the best of shape. And this one's in the worst shape here. But that's definitely the most I've found in a stack. The next most was 2. And I think I've only done that once. Other than that, every now and again, I'll find one. And so it's surprising I got 3 of them. So anyway, for me personally, I'm just gonna set these aside and save them for my collection. But, so I just wanted to point that out. Other than that, there's a few things I just wanted to point out again. I pulled out some more heavier ink notes, just to kind of go over those again. You can see that the 0, the 3rd digit, got heavy inking on it. Again, the 3rd 0, heavy inking on it, 2013. Just like I had mentioned before, the 17s and 13s are pretty known for this. Heavy inking on the 9s on the lower and upper serial number on the 3rd digit. And here, the heavier inking is a little less noticeable, but you can still tell on the 5s, it's got a little bit more. This is a 2013. So, you can see the difference between one that has much heavier inking and one that doesn't, but still has the heavier inking. So it really comes down to, who's, how much of that inking someone's looking for to consider it collectible. Here again, the 7s, the 3rd digit, it's got the heavier inking. Now this one, 2017, this one's on the 2nd digit, the 4s, but like I mentioned before, it's like that 2nd and 3rd digit seem to have this frequently. Here you go again, the 2nd digit down here on the lower serial number, the 5, has that on a 2017 bill. The 2nd digit, the 6, 2017 bill. And they got the 2nd digit, that 5, has a little bit more of heavier inking. And then you've got that 2 has heavier inking, and it kind of looks like the 6, the 3rd digit, actually has the heavier inking on this one, on the lower serial number. So there you go. You know, out of another $100, I pulled out all of these that have the heavier inking, and there's some of them I even passed up. It was noticeable, but not as noticeable. And then there's this one. This one's a little bit different on the heavier inking. You can see that quite a few different numbers could be considered that it looks like it has heavier inking on it. The ones that really stand out to me are the 5s, especially in the lower serial number, and the 3rd 6, which again, no big deal on that 3rd digit for me, but this, you know, this 5, I guess, a little less common to find the heavier inking not in that 2nd and 3rd digit, but again, not completely, I wouldn't consider it like astonishingly rare. I have, you know, pulled out others from my collection, but this is definitely something that I'll set aside for my collection. And I also then pulled out some more of those stuck digit errors, the gas pump odometer errors, and you can see here that high 3, and this one's kind of noticeable. So it's kind of getting in that bracket where you know, these could be considered more collectible, the more obviously noticeable high digit errors. So you'll find less of these ones that are going to be much more noticeable. Is like immediately when you look at the note, you'll see it, whereas some other ones you kind of have to study it. And so this one here, although I've definitely pulled out ones that have been more severe with the stuck digit, higher or lower, this one still, for me, I'll go ahead and pull it out. And if I get notes in the future that are in better condition and I can swap them out for this, then I'll go ahead and do that. And then on, you know, these ones are, this lower serial number, this one's really seems to be crooked. You can tell how it seems to slope off there at the end of the serial number, especially that 1. And it looks like after the 3, the 911 does look like it starts sloping off, and maybe even the letter I. So this one for me, I'll definitely put this one aside. It's a lot more severe and noticeable. So I wanted to point that one out. On these ones, you can tell that 9 on the lower serial number there looks a little bit lower, but nothing that I'm going to keep. On this one, it looks like maybe this last 4 is slightly higher. Maybe the 0, or it could be, it's kind of hard to tell. Sometimes my eyes play tricks on me here. It could be that those 2s are actually sitting a little bit lower. Regardless, somewhere in those digits, some are sitting higher and lower, and it's kind of creating an imbalance there. But nothing too crazy. And on this one, you can definitely see that the 5 on the lower serial number there, that's sitting lower. That seems kind of noticeable to me, you know, when you're comparing it next to the 6. So probably something I'll set aside. And then we have, let's see, on this one, this is definitely gonna be less, kind of less noticeable, but I do see here, like when you're comparing these 2 6s down here, they're definitely off. I can't tell if that first six looks like it's probably sitting a little bit higher, but it could be, again, a combination of numerous digits sitting both higher and lower, creating more of an offset. So that might be something to take a little bit closer look at. I'll set it aside for now, determine if I want to keep that. And this last one here, it's that 3 right here that seems to be sitting slightly lower, but not anything too significant. So I'm not gonna really bother with that. There are a few more that I pulled out here. This one, again, on that last stack I went through, I had that bill that was, you know, misaligned or miscut. This one isn't as severe. In fact, here, I'll grab that bill that I pulled out before. You can kind of compare it. You know, yeah, maybe on the right hand border it's the same, but definitely this top border on the first one I pulled out, that's more narrow, it's more offset. So this first bill is definitely more of a miscut bill. The back of this one isn't going to be as offset either as compared to like this one. Close, very close. Like, you know, the back seems to be less offset for some reason, but you know, the first one that I pulled out of the first stack, that one I'll hold on to. This one, it's not super uncommon to find these, so I probably won't hold on to it. And then a couple more I pulled out is going to be this one here, and basically what this one is, it was almost a radar. That 150 and then 051. If in the middle here, either this 1 would have been an 8 or the 8 would have been a 1, it would have been referred to as a radar note. So it basically looks like it's reflecting itself in a mirror with the numbers. So it would have been 1501, then 1051, or 1508, 8051. But doesn't qualify, so no good. And this last one that I pulled out here, oh, I just wanted to point out again, another bill that had the 2-digit bookends, the 38 and the 38. Again, that's the second one I found now in the second stack, or out of $200, I should, you know, clarify. So nothing too crazy there. I'm not going to hold on to that. But anyway, that wraps up the second stack. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the third stack. Okay, here's the third and final strap of $1 bills, and let's go through it. I'll speed up the video here and then recap after I get through the stack. Okay, got through the last stack, third stack, the $300, and I found one more star note, which is pretty cool. And so not too bad of an average, one every $150. Had better, had worse. But anyway, this star note, just wanted to point this out. It's pretty cool. It's got a gas pump, odometer, low digit error. You can see that too, sitting a lot lower. So, you know, when something cool like that happens on an already more, what could be a more rare note, you know, that could increase the value on it. So anyway, we'll circle back around to this star note and that first star note that I found at the end of the video, just to see what the production numbers were on them and how rare they are. So moving on, I again pulled out a bunch of examples of some heavy over ink area. Again, you can just see how common this really is as we go through them. Here, there's a heavy 9 here on that third digit, the 2017. Again, heavy 9s, that third digit, 2013. Heavy 5s, 2013, that third digit. The 7s are heavy on that third digit, 2013. And these 4s are heavy on the third digit. It's the 2017. We've got this third digit on the lower serial number, the 7. It's got a little bit of heavier inking compared to the one in the upper serial number. Not significant, but there's that little tiny bit you can tell. Again, on this third digit on both upper and lower, the 4 has the heavier inking. And we've got the 2 on the third digit. You can kind of see there's some, a little bit of heavy inking there on the upper portion of the 2. That third digit on the 2013. And we've got the third digits on both upper and lower on the 6s here on the 2013 bill again. Same thing, third digits, 2013 bill. The 2s have some heavy inking. And on this one, we've got the upper serial number, and for that matter, the lower serial number, the third digit, the 1s have that heavy inking. And then we have the 8, mostly in the lower serial number here, third digit, heavy inking on the 2017 series bill. So lots of examples of that heavy over inking. Then pulled out some more examples of the gas pump error. You can see on the lower digit here, that 7 sticks up just a bit higher. It could also be that this 7, which it does look like, sits a little bit lower as well. So we've got some offset between the two, which isn't too crazy, but next, you got something a little bit more significant here. That 8 sits up pretty high. So that's probably something I'll set aside for now. And then in this example, you can see on the upper serial number here, the 9 is sitting somewhat low. It's noticeable, but nothing crazy, not like this last 8 was. So probably just pass up on something like that. Then you've got this 6 on the end here that's sitting high. That's noticeable. Could be something to hold on to, especially I'll be more inclined to hold on to it. This is a pretty clean bill. It's crisp and light folding in it, but this I'm more inclined to hold on to something like this. And if something better comes along to replace it, so be it. And in this example, it looks like this third digit on the upper serial number, the 9, that's sitting a little bit lower. Again, nothing crazy, nothing I'm gonna hold on to, especially it's got a lot of folds in it and not something I really care to keep. And on this serial number, you can see that third digit to the last, that 2, definitely sitting lower. It could even be dipping, starting at the first 2, 902. Kind of looks like it has a a dip in the middle there. So maybe something to consider holding on to, but it still to me doesn't look like anything super crazy. A couple more examples now that have both heavy inking and a gas pump error. You can obviously see the heavy inking here in the 4 and the 6. And then there might be a small dip in the center of this serial number. Maybe that end, the 7.5, is sitting a little bit higher. So the most noticeable areas between the 8 and the 7, you can kind of see that's offset there. And then this second bill, you can see that the third digit here, the 5, has some heavy inking. And it also looks like up on the top, the 8 and the 5 have some heavy inking as well. And then you can tell this 8 on the end is bumped up just a little bit. And on this third bill, you've got the heavy inking down here on the 5, maybe even somewhat on the 6 when you're comparing it to the upper. And then this 5 on the upper as well. Looks like it's got some heavy inking. And it looks like that on the lower serial number here, this last 0, it seems to be sitting up slightly higher. Again, so, you know, these bills have both the heavy inking and the gas pump. So, you know, we haven't seen this until we got to this third stack here. And then suddenly there's 3 of them, 3 examples to show you. You know, is this a rare thing? I wouldn't consider it like overly rare, but at the same time, you know, if you've got a combination of things going on with the bills in any one given bill, then, you know, maybe that holds some weight to holding on to the bill. But again, depends on what you're looking for, the condition of the bill. And for me, these probably don't do much, so I'll probably just pass on them. Maybe if the bills were in better shape, or, you know, that offset was more, or the heavy inking was maybe not on that second and third digit, then I would consider it. Anyways, moving on. One more example of another off-center, miscut, misaligned dollar bill. You can see this right side compared to the left side is definitely more narrow. Again, is this uncommon to find these? Not really. You know, we found, what was it, 3 of them that were kind of miscut in the stack of 300. So our average is 1%. You know, maybe it's got a little bit of some value to it, but considering that the condition of the bill is pretty circulated, I don't know that there's much there or worth holding on to unless you really are collecting this sort of a thing. Anyway, the last thing I pulled out here was what is considered a partial ladder or a broken ladder. The serial number basically has, you can see there's only 2 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they consider that a partial ladder, but considering that it's not in order, it's a broken ladder. Are these collectible to some people? Yes. So all depends upon what you're looking for. You know, I may hold on to it. That's not really something I really go out of the way to look for, but I don't know, they're maybe cool in their own right, given the combination. If it was more of in sequence, in order, more of a true ladder, I'd be definitely way more inclined to hold on to it, but just wanted to point this out. So I'm gonna recap here at the end with those 2 star notes to see what we got with the rarity. Okay, to wrap up the 2 star notes here that we found in the $300, we're going to plug them into the My Currency Collection website. And so here, this first one, 09094431, that was a 2017. And so plugged in the numbers here, 09094431, 2017, L district, and it's showing that it's a less rare star note. It had a run size of 3.2 million, and there were 8,820,000 total printed from this district. So if you scroll down a little bit more, you can see there were 3 runs of it. Actually, no, 4 runs of it. This one was in run number 3 right here. The one above it would have been nice. That was they only did 500,000 of those. But that's that one. And then the second one here, we've got L10331612. That's from 2006. So I gotta open up another tab here. L10331612. Okay, we got a little bit of a smaller run size, 2,560,000, but there's more printed, 9.6 million, than the last star note we just looked up. So again, it's showing that this is a less of a rare star note, and this was in run number 4. It's the second least amount for the run number, 2,560,000 versus the 3.2 million, but it's still, you know, not the 640,000 run number 1. But anyways, that wraps it up for the 2 star notes that we found. Still cool finds, and still gonna throw them in the collection. All right, thanks so much.